My affiliation with this institution actually began in the fall of 1952. And no, I wasn't a freshman then, but I started out actually in this building as a first grader, because this was an elementary school back in those days. I started here as a freshman in the fall of 1965, and I received my bachelor's degree in 1989. So yes, that is 24 years. I like to say, well, I changed majors once, but I did have kind of a long and winding road through this university. I remember the Boylans. I had Mrs. Boylan for English, and I had Mr. Boylan for math, both at the same time. So here I've got a husband and wife as professors. And Mr. Boylan was, one thing I'll remember about him is he would come into the classroom with a lit cigar, smoking the cigar. The chalkboard tray would be the cigar holder during the lecture period.
You know, I met Jim Anderson, I would say, the better part of 25 years ago. Jim's company, Ellis Stone, has done a lot of construction work for St. Michael's over the years, and we developed a friendship through that. But then we became racquetball partners.
I was very fortunate to be able to step into a company that was already well established and was an ongoing enterprise, and been very fortunate to work with a wonderful group of people that we've been able to continue that business and continue to grow it and serve customers.
To me, Jim is a friend that I really cherish and admire. He has deep faith and is committed to honesty. He is a person of integrity. He is a man who does justice, loves kindness, and walks humbly with his God.
Jim does a tremendous amount of volunteer work for many organizations in Stevens Point. And you wouldn't know it because he's not one to go out and tell people about all the things that he does for the community. He just does it. Being
Asked to volunteer for many worthwhile organizations, both locally and some throughout the state, where I've always felt that when I finished up that volunteering, whether it be for a year or over several years, I felt that I always gained more than what I was able to give, just because of the people that I met and the things that I would learn through that volunteering process.
When I met Jim, I was a pastor at one of the parishes here in town, and he and his wife Patty were members there. And we had come to one of those predictable situations in any kind of church life. We were short on our budget. So we were starting to make phone calls, personal calls, to ask members to give a little bit extra. And Jim was not a Catholic, his wife is, and he is very active in another church in the area. And I called him to just explain our plight, and he was very, very receptive and very, very generous. And so with his help, we were able to meet our budget that year.
Receiving this award is, at the same time, brings out the emotions of humbleness and pride. And I'm humbled to have been considered for such an award, and certainly proud to be receiving it. But I think more than that, I'd like to think of this as an affirmation of what the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point is doing, and what they're doing and what it means to people involved in the university and all the alum. And you know, without this education, I don't believe I would have been able to achieve all the things that I have. Well, when it comes to giving thanks, I mean, there are literally hundreds. Obviously, I have to thank my wife, Patty, for supporting me in all of this, my kids, all my co-workers, and I'm not going to start naming names because I'll forget someone, and certainly all of the people, my friends, all the people that I've had the privilege of serving with in the numerous volunteer groups, you just can't start naming names.
Jim, I know you're a modest individual, but for once, just sit back and enjoy this and accept the recognition because it is very well deserved. And on behalf of UWSP, as well as the community, thank you for all that you do.
May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord's face shine upon you. May the Lord be gracious to you and continue to look upon you with love and give you peace.